to Roots and Roofs, where we explore the intersection of motherhood and entrepreneurship in the real estate world. I am your host, Mackenzie Shelton. Join us as we dive into the unique journey of balancing family life with owning a thriving real estate business. Each episode, we will uncover inspiring stories, practical tips, mindset conversations, and expert insights from others who are carving their paths in the real estate industry. Whether you are a seasoned realtor, a prospective buyer, or simply curious about the dynamics of managing both home and career, Roots and Roofs is your go-to podcast for heartfelt discussions and invaluable advice. Tune in and discover how these incredible women are building deep roots from the ground up while nurturing their families under the same roof. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Roots and Roofs. I am super excited to introduce my guest here with me today. This is Sami Peckham. And Sami, why don't you just take a few minutes to just kind of introduce yourself?
I'm Sami. I am from Council Bluffs. Let's see. I have 3 kids, a husband. We live on an acreage close to Crescent area almost. I've been in real estate for 5 years in July. Before that, I worked in life insurance for over 7 years in corporate world, and I loved that too. And aside from that, we own a coffee shop now, do some flips and rentals and Airbnb, and we stay busy. So, yeah.
You are probably the busiest person I have ever met. And like people tell me, they're like, I don't know how you do all the things that you do. And I look at you and I'm like, I have no idea how she does all the things that she does.
Same. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's just kind of get into some of my questions here.
Yep.
So you mentioned that you are a real estate agent and investor. So just kind of tell everybody a little bit about how you got started in real estate and, ended up becoming not only a real estate agent, but a real estate team owner and investor, and kind of just tell us a little bit about that journey.
It was actually something I'd wanted to do long before I got into it. I started with Tammy Stewart. Now we collaborate our teams. I had talked to her probably 4 or 5 years before I actually got into real estate. It was something, and I try to think of where I even got the idea. Like, nobody in my family has been in real estate, things like that. But my dad was always in construction, something that always interests me. My husband's been in concrete forever, so I think that was part of it. But when I first talked to her, I was working corporate job, and my husband had just started on his own for concrete. Like, he had just left, he was no longer working for someone, had started. So me transitioning to also self-employment at the same time, we had a 1-year-old, it wasn't the right time. Then in 2020, COVID happened. I had actually already been talking to Tammy again and started my classes and things when COVID happened. And I actually got licensed and started while still working my corporate job for about 9 months, until I had enough business going on where I could leave that income and felt comfortable. I never felt comfortable, actually, but at least that we could survive. So started on Tammy's team, and it was great, learned so much, and I felt very lucky for the business and things. It's been hard and a lot of hours, but it's been worth it, and things have gotten a little easier as time has went on. And I think that kind of spiraled into flips and things like that, into rentals, Airbnb, because when you're in it, working and helping people, you start to see the benefits even more clearly, and you see the opportunities. And I think it just kind of all blends in together. And we're people that I guess like to take risks, so we just go for it and figure it out. And actually, our first flip was on School Hill Avenue, as your listing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yes. And you know what? The profit margin wasn't very large. However, it was a good starting point. And so we've just continued to do those things. Yes, I'm realtor full time. My husband has his concrete company full time. But we do those things as well because it is such a good investment for our family and gives us a little more freedom for our kids and things. And we don't have maybe we should, we don't have 401ks or that sort of thing. And so one day we would like to retire. And so I think it's kind of all meshed together, and corporate world was great, but I'm glad I made the jump when I did.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So to your point, talking about School Hill Road and not making a ton of money.
Yep.
What is something that, like, how do you determine what would be a good investment for you guys or not at this point? Because I know you've done several since then. How do you decide whether something is a good buy or not?
Tammy told me this early on, and it was so true, because and each time I remind myself, it's how you buy it from the beginning, because you can't make up for it. And we won't have to spend as much money on the paint or this. That's not going to happen. It's how you buy it. So if we actually every flip we've bought except for one of them was on the market. Came onto the market as something that other people were also seeing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's price, condition, how far gone is it, and then what the return is. So being a real estate agent, it's helpful because I a lot of times know off the top of my head, it's probably worth this, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's all pen to paper numbers. How much do we think we have in it? Let's estimate probably 20% more we'll spend than we thought. And then we decide whether it's worth the investment or not. There's been times, it kind of just depends. Each one we've made a little bit different profit on, but we roll it into the next one.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. We rarely do any that have actually any major foundation issues.
Okay.
Or that sort of thing.
What deters you from that?
I think being a real estate agent, you get a little insight to the buyer's mind. And even if it's fixed, it's almost still tough.
Yeah.
Especially in a flip. I feel like anytime you do a flip, the microscope on that house is even bigger. And it just is. People know it's a flip. They'll know if foundation issues were fixed, that sort of thing. But I feel like it can damper it a little bit, as well as there's a lot more risk associated with, is it going to be done right, that sort of thing. So ours have been much more cosmetic. I mean, we've taken out walls, redone floor plans, and things like that. And I've done quite went pretty far with things, but we try to kind of stay away from anything that's at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of interesting. Because we've actually bought several properties that have foundation problems, right? So it's all in the mind of the person, the investor, like what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with.
Yes.
I'm sure you know this as an agent. I have clients who have ended up buying properties that I would not touch with like a 10-foot pole, right? And I have some that are totally fine with the small, like I'm thinking about people that even turn properties into rentals, right? Some of them are like not making any money, right? And I am not a person that would ever be comfortable with that. My husband and I have made a kind of like unspoken rule that if we cannot profit at least $500 a month on that rental property, like we're just not interested in it, right? And actually the last one that we bought, it was like a little less than 500, and we both like almost were like, well, maybe we shouldn't buy it, right? But it's just so different. Like I have friends in Underwood that they've bought several properties, and like they're totally fine with like kind of the long game, like we'll eventually make money on them, right? It's just so interesting how everybody is so different, and there is always a deal for everybody out there.
There is,
right?
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Is so funny. Okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit about, we'll kind of stay on the topic with real estate investing. So what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned in being a real estate investor?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's so many lessons, right?
There's so many. That's the thing. And it's a little bit different, I would say, like I kind of said, on things we're flipping, making sure to buy it right. is a huge thing. School Hill, we were okay, right? Like we were just ready to get into it, figure it out, learn. The profit margin wasn't a huge deal. We probably did, than that, what we bought high. You can't make up for that. And that's okay. It would have been actually probably made a great rental, but that's what we weren't in the.
I almost bought it for a rental.
Yeah, it would have been a good one. I think rates were 2% at that point too.
Yeah.
So that would be one, because you just, and I tell people that who look to invest is, if you buy this too high, you're not going to make up for it. There's just no way. So being patient in that way. We do have a short-term, or we have a long-term rental in Council Bluffs. We have a short-term rental at the Lake of the Ozarks, and that's been another learning experience. And I think I've just learned that if you have to explain, you can't assume people know things.
Oh yeah, you're talking to the lady that owns an Airbnb also.
Yes.
And actually has turned it into a long-term rental because I don't want to deal with dumb people.
Yes, I know. So and we've been pretty lucky. I would say our first one was smaller, so not as many people could fit in it.
Yeah.
And the one we have now is fine, but we owned one where there were 5 bedrooms and extra places to sleep. You could fit 20 people into it. Mm-hmm. So, which is great because then you can charge more, but it never ended up being actually worth it. So there's a sweet spot there with how much you can charge per night, how many people you can sleep without overdoing it, and all of a sudden you have a whole baseball team in that destroys the place. So I think I can be too trusting, and I think that's been a big lesson for me.
Yeah,
is these people seem nice. You can try. You usually. You can't. So I just leading from being more factual and less emotional to think, oh, everybody's just there to have a great time. That's been hard for me.
So this is exactly why ours also, unfortunately, we bought in Florida, where the market is very oversaturated, right? Mm-hmm. And so we kind of bought at a time where literally had we bought maybe like 2 years before that, the market down there just it was great, but we ended up dumping money into a place that we didn't get to enjoy as much as we intended originally to do. So it was kind of like, what are we doing? This is really not worth it, right? Yeah. And to your point, unfortunately, we dealt with people like someone, kind of the final straw for me was a group of people literally threw like a giant rager at our house, and I mean, like literally broke the house. And the worst part is Airbnb does not support the owners, right? I don't know how, like, that's a topic for a whole nother day, but that because of that, like we're just not in a place where we're willing to invest in something that is that far away from where we even live, and have people like destroy something that we worked really hard to make beautiful and all those things. Yeah. We were way too trusting that people, like I have stayed in several Airbnbs and I literally try to leave it like as perfect as possible. Right. But other people don't care.
They don't.
No,
they don't. Our worst. Yeah, I actually did have a baseball party when I said that. We did, and they did, and they had a flip, right? So she's got a 5-hour window to get the next people in.
That's exactly what happened to us too.
And I submitted everything to Airbnb. Well, first you try to, you send the reimbursement request to the guest. Fine, nothing
of course
happened.
Not. Yeah.
Then it was unbearable. Mm-hmm. How you just gave up. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. We'll just lesson learned.
Yep.
It's fine. I mean, last summer, a neighbor there is from Council Bluffs and said, hey, there was ambulances and things at your house last night. We were down staying somewhere else, had an Airbnb guest. We're like, oh, weird. Okay, well, we'll go over there. They were out in the dock. Someone jumped off the back. They've all been drinking. Someone jumped. Their story didn't add up. But so what they told us was different from what actually happened, which I believe was someone jumped off the back of the boat,
Yeah.
She must have went under. Prop hit her. Cut her up pretty good. And the ambulance had to then life flight. They had to drive her over to the grocery store, life flight her. They didn't say anything to us. We had no idea this happened until there was an article that went out. So it's just I'm very particular now.
Yes.
And I do my research. I hate that it has to be that way.
Yeah.
I wish it would.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to do that, but you just learn
Yeah.
the hard way.
You do. Yes, you do.
Yes.
And I think still it is such a great thing to be able to, have a place that people can stay and visit, and you yourself can visit, and all these things. But yeah, I think the business model might be a little flawed.
I do too.
So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay, so let's kind of switch gears here.
Yep.
I want to know, why did you buy a coffee shop in Underwood, Iowa?
Yes.
And you're opening a second one.
Yes.
Tell me all of the details. I
Yes.
need to know.
We actually started looking at so we're opening the Council Bluffs one goes in Valley View Plaza,
Okay.
2 doors down from Cellar 19. When I was in high school, it was a coffee shop too. Taza. It was Taza D Cafe. They have a drive-through, everything already there. Then, that wasn't there anymore. There was a doctor's office, things like that. And we started looking at it in 2024. But it was kind of like, I've always wanted to do something like that. It's another investment, something that the community needs because it is different than what we already have. And things came up, so we were less focused on it. And then, actually, what it was is I told my husband, I said, if that spot ever comes up in Valley View Plaza, I want to put a coffee shop there. And then I drove by and there was a sign going out. So I said, you're never going to believe this. So time went by and we kind of we're worried about other things going on. Then we circled back to it early in 2025. We started getting more serious about it into negotiations and things for the lease. And, I'm somebody that's like, I'm going to go for it. We're going to do this. I think it'd be a fun thing to get our kids involved in. Another business venture. Cause I feel like once you're an entrepreneur and you're self-employed, sometimes you can do multiple. Yeah. It's very common. Everybody's doing multiple things.
Amen. All the things. Yeah.
So, then we started, then we were under contract on that. So Council Bluffs was what we were starting with.
Oh.
Originally the plan was only to have Council Bluffs.
Okay.
Yes, because we had that lease starting in March.
Oh my God.
Yes. And granted, we had to do permits, things like that, plans. Now we're under construction.
Got it.
But then Underwoods came up for sale, and I had a few people reach out to me, and they made good points. They said this would be turnkey. Everything's there, and there's even girls already working there that will stay. So I said, well, sure, let's go for it. Let's try it. So I spoke with the owner. She did more interviews than she got multiple offers.
Yeah.
But she did more interviewing because it is a small community. The girls love it. And it just had to be the right fit. And it just made sense that we could get into Underwood, have that, and then kind of copy and paste into Council Bluffs. Not just duplicate. We've kept a lot of the same in Underwood. We've changed name, branding, things like that, some recipes. We're doing things like that to make it more of what Council Bluffs, so they'll be more alike,
Sure.
I guess.
Yes.
But it was crazy to do, but I'm so glad we did it now because I've never owned anything like that.
Yeah.
So the fact we could have something that was basically turnkey, figure that out, work out the kinks, then open Council Bluffs, hopefully in a month or so, I'm so grateful for it. I have a manager because I can't do it all. So I do have a general manager. She's phenomenal. And yeah, it just kind of escalated. And we're those people. We're like, if it kind of makes sense, let's try it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it did. And it's going to make things run more smoothly for Council Bluffs. And I love Underwood. The girls, I love. It's awesome. So it just kind of all wasn't it what we planned, but made sense, and we went for it.
You are risky.
Yes, I know. I got to do better about that. But you know what? It's usually worked out.
you want to know what? The people that take the biggest risks are usually the people that win the best. So yeah, absolutely. I love that.
We're trying.
Yep.
Yes.
I love it. So tell me a little bit about like, how has it been? And be as honest as you can, right? I'm sure jumping into a new venture like that you've never done before has had some kinks and things to work out. Like, how has it been? Like, what have been some positives, and what are some things that you're learning along the way?
Things that have gone really well. I got very lucky with who I hired as a general manager.
Okay.
Because a good hire is worth its weight in gold, and they're hard to find. So that's gone incredibly well. We work very well together. And I am so busy in real estate that I know I could try, but I'm not going to do the justice those coffee shops need. The girls need the training, hiring, all of the hands-on. I can't do that. I could try. It's just not going to be good for anybody. So that has been phenomenal for us. So that's gone really well. Things that have kind of caught me off guard, a lot of it, because I'd never done inventory or anything like that before. So that's been a learning experience. You know what's caught me off guard, actually? I'll just be very candid. It's interesting to me and gets under my skin that, and I think a lot of it comes when you do take risks and things.
Yeah.
And you do go for stuff. Not everybody's supportive. Even when you think they'll be, they're not. Or not everybody's as collaborative, I should say. I haven't actually seen it as much in real estate. So that's been shocking to me, that we're all self-employed. We are all each other's competition, but you and I can sit here together and bounce ideas off of each other. Even on my own team, they don't have to, they can do whatever business they want. It might be somebody that I've worked with before if I haven't secured them as a client long term. And that's just the way I think. I see more collaboration in that space. We've gotten pushback opening this from other businesses.
Other businesses in the community?
Yes, in the industry.
Interesting.
Yes. And so then I come from a space of everybody collaborating does better. Competition is a good thing.
It is, and absolutely, and also like we go further if we go together.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes. And all of us offer something a little bit different, all of those sort of things. So that has been really hard for me, but I have tried to say, okay, let me maybe think of other people's point of view. Maybe, yes, I have been in real estate. Real estate can be pretty cutthroat. So things don't maybe I take as personal or take to heart as much or get as worried about, because I work in an industry that's tough.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's why. And my husband's been had his own concrete company for over a decade. So he's seen it all too. Not everybody has. Some people are newer to this kind of world. So I try to give the benefit of the doubt a lot of times. It's just that has surprised me.
Yeah.
I should say. But on the other side of that, we've received so much support too.
Sure.
Underwood has been awesome welcoming us. So many people are excited, friends, clients. It has been wonderful. But the little bit that we've received just within the own small, industry has been kind of shocking, actually.
Wow. That's very interesting.
It
I was not expecting you to say
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. So, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And my thing is, we know what we're doing. We keep our heads down. We try to do it well. We try to improve. And we know what our goals are. If I'm always focused on everybody else, it's going to set us a step back. And so I think that's helped me kind of get away from that noise.
Right.
I wasn't expecting it. But it's okay.
That is very interesting. Okay, let's kind of talk, because most of my guests here are moms and wives and all of those things. So as we were talking about before, I seriously don't know how you balance everything on your plate. And I know your kids aren't being homeschooled this year, but your kids were homeschooled last year. So tell me, how in the heck do you manage everything that you need to get done? What are some like systems or processes, like practical things that our listeners can either implement or, you know, kind of take to heart and do moving forward?
I've had to get really good about, just over the last couple of years, it's been actually a huge lesson for me, is focusing my time in the right spaces. I know everybody says, say no more often. That's easier said than done, but I have done that. I think for a long time, I was very much so people pleaser. I wanted to make everybody happy, do all of the things. And I've just the first step was really getting really good at knowing what was important, knowing what my goals were, and putting my time there.
Yeah.
If it's a distraction or not going to get me there, I've had to not put as much time into it, if any time at all. And so that was kind of the first step, because otherwise that was what I struggled with, is getting processes and systems, because I felt like I was scrambling all the time because I was trying to do everything for everyone all the time. And so I had to say no more often, be less involved in things that weren't worth the time. Systems and processes, things like that. That's hard too. But my husband and I work really well together. So, you know, for like now, I do all the school drop-offs and everything like that. He takes them to football, things like that, so I can get other things done. So teamwork there has been key, in communication. But I'm pretty regimented on things like I plan ahead more. So it sounds so stupid and juvenile, but it's seriously things that have helped. I plan dinner for the whole week. I order groceries. I don't typically go to the store because I know myself, and it will take up more of my time. So, and I don't want to use my time for that. So I order groceries. Sometimes I splurge and get my house cleaned. I used to do it bi-weekly. We don't anymore, but I just had a deep clean to help. I've decluttered. We have less stuff, which means less stuff to maintenance. And I just time block really well. Not as well as I'd like to, but I have to time block now and get up earlier. Yeah. And I know people say if you want to win, get up at 5 a.m. I don't get up at 5 a.m. But it's true. I do get up earlier now, and I time block. Okay, what can I get done in the morning before the kids are awake? What can I get done between dropping them off and picking them up that I don't want to do later? So time blocking, finding any ways to shave time, like ordering ahead, those sort of things, ordering in bulk, has helped. And then otherwise, I kind of just wing it.
So we are, I was going to say, basically we're the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do get my house cleaned once a month because I started doing that in 2020. And my husband a few times has been like, do we really need this? I'm like, yes, we do. Yes. If you want a happy wife, yes, you will let me get my house cleaned once a month.
Yes. I know. You get your time back.
Well, and for, you understand this with having little kids. Like I've basically had little kids for a very, very long time because we have big age gaps between our kids. And even if I am cleaning the house, the whole house is not clean, right?
Never.
Because they're making a mess somewhere, right? And so I didn't realize how important this would be, like for I don't know, my mental health, I guess, if you want to call it that. But for at least a few hours every single month, my house is absolutely spotless. Yes. The whole thing, right? Yes. And that is like such a game changer, you know, because we do lead very chaotic, cluttered lives. Yes. And at least for a couple hours, my brain is like,
yes. You know? Or things I can't get to. I don't remember last time I washed the mirror.
Yeah.
They did it. So it's things like that. And now I can maintain it easier and all of that sort of stuff. And it's hard too when we're real estate agents. You go into houses all day long that are show ready, market ready. Yes. And then I'm like, okay, these are market ready. When I get home, I don't have to beat myself up about this. I'm not putting my house on the market.
I used to do that. I've said this before on the podcast. I did this very unintentionally, but the first year that my husband and my two big boys and I lived together, I went from being a single person who lived completely by myself to living with a man and two small children, right? And I was like an absolute Nazi about keeping the house clean. And then I had to like take a step back for myself and be like, this is not good for them. Like they're walking on eggshells. they're worried about things that they're just kids. They should just, and even my husband, right? Like, he's a pretty clean guy, but like, he's not perfect, right? He shouldn't have to worry about getting yelled at for like leaving, I don't know, hair in the sink, right?
Yeah.
Like, I need to take it down a notch.
Yes, I've had to do the same. And it was like each kid too.
Yes.
One, I was like, how people can't keep their houses clean? Two, and then it's like, we pick our battles.
Oh,
Seriously.
yes.
I pick my battles all day long, and you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
If I ever need to put my house on the market, I will get it where it needs to be, but it's not today.
Yep. I actually put my house on the market like 2.5 years ago, and I was like, all right, I'm going to take my own advice, and I'm going to literally shove stuff in closets and all of and it's going to look beautiful. And if somebody happens to open that closet and stuff falls out of it,
it is what
it is what it is.
You fit a lot of stuff in it. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So I love that you do time blocking. For those that are listening that are either real estate agents or business owners, like, what does some of that kind of look like for you very specifically?
One thing is, I know that if I don't give myself an end time, I won't get to what I need to. And I need to be okay with what I can get done during the time. So if I will say, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm going to just do laundry. That's what I'm going to do today. But at 11, I have to stop. Otherwise, I won't get to the other stuff. So, I have a notebook and a planner, and I handwrite. I'm maybe old school. I know there's so many cool apps and things. I tried it. I like to write things out. I almost every night write out the next day. On Sundays, I write out the week, what needs to get done, what can get done, and I first prioritize. Like, I need to get my taxes done, but it doesn't have to be this week, but it needs to be this month.
Sure.
So then I can kind of block things that way. If I have a listing on Thursday, okay, that means Thursday at this time I'm going to go there, do staging. Pictures are at this time. I'm only going to go from this time to this time. I have to prepare. So it's been prioritizing what has to get done with what can get done, and knowing deadlines of things. Because otherwise, to me, everything feels urgent. Everything.
Yeah.
And then nothing actually gets done.
Yes.
So I've had to learn the hard way and get really good about, and I always am working on it, but what is actually urgent and what can wait, and then time block accordingly. But I will look at the calendar and be like, okay, if I know I have to be there at this time, and that's going to get me really until when I pick the kids up, if listing photos are at 2, okay, well then I have from 10 to this time to do what's most important, X, Y, and Z, and I time block from there.
Yeah.
But that means I get the things that need to get done, and I have to be okay with what doesn't get done.
Yes.
Because the to-do list doesn't actually ever end. There's not a start and a stop.
No.
It is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yep.
So I've had to make peace with that, which has been hard for me. But I get what I can done, and the rest is okay. And it's for me, for some reason, it's been really tough to that's been a tough part about being self-employed.
Yeah, I think when you go, I have not had a job in a very, very, very long time. So it's sometimes hard for me to even like remember what that was like.
Yep.
But your job has a start and a stop point.
Yes.
You have very clear, like, either tasks or goals of exactly what you need to get done that day, that week, that month, whatever it is. And when you're self-employed, life just doesn't operate that way. Yeah, because you're right. The list is literally never ending.
It doesn't. You can't get everything done in a day or a week or a month.
Yeah.
So
I have a couple of things on my list that I think have been on there for like 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
They're clearly not that important.
That's it. Exactly.
I will get to them someday.
Yes, exactly. I've had to I've had to make peace with it.
Yeah.
And I also have gotten burnt out a time or two. So now I kind of force myself to be like, this is what's going to get done today. Here's the times I'm going to do it. That's what's most important. Everything else can wait to this day or whenever. And that's been hard for me as somebody who will just keep going and keep going. But I can't find another way not to burn out.
Well, and what ends up happening is then your family suffers, right?
Yes.
the whole reason that a lot of us got into real estate is for the flexibility and getting to spend more time with our family. And then all of a sudden, somehow we're not spending any time with our family. So,
yes. Yes. And that's, I always think that too. Well, that's another thing I have to do to not get burnt out, and is remind myself, okay, this doesn't look typical.
Yeah.
I don't clock in, I don't clock out. It's not typical. But I get to drive them to school every day. I get to pick them up. I have made it a point at this point now with real estate that I don't miss stuff.
Yes.
Because I used to. And yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Granted, the boys race, when they're racing motocross, sometimes it's hard to leave for the whole week. So we collaborate, right,
Sure.
on who does what. However, I don't miss things anymore. But I've had to just remind myself, like, no, I got a clock. I used to get a clock in and clock out. But there's a reason that was another set of problems. This is a new set of problems, I feel. But I get to do the things I always wanted to do. I can go to the field trips. I can do all of those things I didn't get to do before. And yeah, I might have to, yes, I have open houses, a few this weekend or whatever it may be. So it's restructuring my mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed. I love that. Okay, so I know we're kind of winding down on time here. I wanted to just ask you like one more question. Okay, so what advice would you give to other moms or women who want to chase big goals, but maybe either feel overwhelmed by family responsibilities or feel like they're not sure how to make that leap? Like what would you tell them?
One is that guilt actually never goes away. So
that's good.
It doesn't go away. No matter how much time and involvement I've had, it's still there. So making peace with that and deciding what's important. But always leading with what your goals are, what's best for you and your family, and 100% focusing on that. And then figuring out what is going to get you there.
Yeah.
And just focusing on those things. And going for it. Granted, obviously, I would say just go. If you got to be a little bit nuts. So then you just go for it. But we can do it.
Yeah.
Moms work. Most moms now. And we're always going to probably feel guilty for it. But our kids are learning a lot from that. And it takes more than one thing to fill our cup.
Yeah.
And I'm a better mom because I get to do those things. It fills all the cups, and they get to learn that from me, going after what they want and things like that. And it's not always easy, but I think our family's closer for it. And I don't think I wouldn't change anything.
No.
So go for it. It's going to be hard. It's normal to feel guilty. It's normal to feel like your head's going to fly off. But if I could go back 5.5 years ago to when I left corporate world and my schedule got a little different, I would say really figure out right away what's important and how to get there. And the rest has to be noise, because it's easy to want to do too much, try too much, and want to make everybody happy. And you can't.
No.
So you have to pick, and sometimes that means not doing other things.
Yeah.
So I'd love
love
to be
that.
so involved in everything.
Yes.
But I can't.
Yes.
There will be a time where I was on the board of directors for Southwest Iowa Real. Okay.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I was too. Yeah.
But I can't. There will be a time in my life where my kids are older and I can do those kinds of things. It's okay if it's not right now.
Yeah.
And I had to make peace with that. To be like, it's okay. I'm still going to meet what goals I have now, and I'm still going to get to be the mom I want to be. That's what fulfills me, and the wife I want to be. And that's this chapter.
Yeah.
Those kinds of stuff. Everything doesn't have to be right now.
No, I agree. I literally love that advice, because I have also had to kind of learn that the hard way. Yes. Yeah.
I want to do all the things I want to do right now.
Yeah.
But let's be real.
Yeah.
So that's been hard. That's been a huge learning experience for me.
Yeah.
My husband's better at it than me.
Oh, mine used to tell me all the time. He's like, no is a complete sentence.
I
Like you
know.
can say no to something.
Yes.
Yes.
He's like, why are you spending time on that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're better at this than me. I don't know. There's probably a million reasons why.
Yeah.
But he's owned his own company and had employees far longer than I've ever,
Mm-hmm.
I managed a lot of people in corporate world, but it was different, right?
Yes.
They weren't on my payroll.
Yeah.
But we help each other in different ways, but he's a lot better at that than me. He's like, why are you spending time on that? You complain you don't have enough time, but then you're spending time. I'm like, I hate that you're right.
I know.
You're so right.
I know.
So I've had to get super focused.
Yep. Agreed.
And
But you want to know what? The second that you kind of get to that other side, like that's when all of a sudden, like all this kind of magic happens.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Like I've thought about this year and just some of the things that I've like restructured with my team and various things like that. And I'm like, man, I actually have like real weekends where I'm like not working.
I know.
Right. Like, but I think sometimes what people forget is like how much time it took to get to that place. Right.
I was just talking about that this week. You know how much time takes to get there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're probably not even quite there
I'm
yet.
not probably all the way there yet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm like, things shift. There's a
Yes.
shift. And, I'm not as busy on the weekends.
Yeah.
I can be more selective about time while still doing a good job at what I'm trying to do a good job at.
Exactly.
But it took so much. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah. I will probably close this year, and I'm like trying to back off on production.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll still probably close this year doing about 30 deals. And like, I don't really feel like I've done 30 deals, right?
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that crazy?
It is. This will probably be my highest production year.
That's awesome.
Though it doesn't feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've shifted more into being more listing heavy.
Yes.
I think that's part of it comes with how long I've been doing it.
It does.
Part of it comes from the market we're in. But it hasn't felt that way. But I'm also super selective on who's on my team too, because I don't want a huge team. That's a great business model. It's not mine.
Yes.
I'm very particular on who's on my team, and we have each other's backs and help each other. And we're all can live a little bit better life being there for each other.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And it's been key. I did for a while. I was like, I would love to have this huge I don't.
No.
I want to have a great team where everything's aligned. We have the same beliefs. We have the same work ethic. And we're doing this. We're all at different stages, so we're helping each other in different ways.
Yes.
But also it helps. I don't know how people do it alone.
I know high producing agents, right, that are basically doing it all alone with like a few assistants or whatever. And I always am just like, that's just not the right plan for me.
Exactly.
Right? Like I know one lady, she has one child who's already a teenager, right? Okay. So maybe that is a great fit for her, but not for my life. Right. No. Yeah. You want to know what, to your point, I have a real estate coach, and this has been almost 2 years ago now, but I was really struggling with kind of having maybe not all the right people on my team, or people that had maybe been a good fit at one point, but were maybe not a good fit anymore, you know, that sort of thing. And she actually had me basically create like an avatar of like the perfect person for my team. And I like wrote this all out. It was pretty detailed, right? Like who would this person be? And it is amazing that is literally now who I have attracted.
I love that's cool.
Right?
You have a killer team.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you want to know what? They are all just but I really attribute a lot of that to creating this a few years ago and actually going, okay, yeah, that's actually the type of person that I want to look for, right?
Yeah.
And we definitely all don't have the same personality or, life experiences or anything like that, but the core of like the work ethic, the morals, the values, the really big goals, even just career-wise and how much money they want to make and all those things are very aligned. And so it's like, then when you have all of those same people in the room, they just want to help each other naturally. Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I
that's
agree.
Awesome.
There's so much you can teach and there's a lot you can't. And I think that's where finding the right person is key.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you cannot create motivation for people.
You can't. You can lead a horse to water.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite saying. But it's hard. It's okay. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's I'm good. I'm glad you're feeling that low weekends thing too. And I'm getting there. I think in the next couple of years I'll be there even more because stuff comes up.
Oh yeah.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, because we're never really off.
No.
Things can happen at any moment.
Absolutely.
But
yes.
it's been, I think we're I feel at a much better place. And you're right. It does start to feel like less time attributed to everything and getting it done.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for you so much.
It's getting there.
Well,
that's how I do it all, I guess.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I think everybody will love everything that we got to talk about today. And do you want to tell people where they can find you or follow you, just in case they would like to?
Yes. I have my Facebook, Sami Peckham Realtor. You can follow Louie's Coffee House too on either of these. So Facebook, Instagram, I just have it under my name, Sami Peckham.
Perfect.
I have the best marketing girl on the face of the earth, and she helps me on these things because I can't. Okay, but I'm behind it a lot, but she's a good voice, and we're doing some cool stuff. So
awesome.
Facebook or Instagram.
I love that.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, until next time.
Thank you so much for listening to Roots and Roofs podcast today. If you loved today's episode, please let me know. I love hearing from you on Instagram and Facebook, so feel free to send me a DM or tag me in your stories so I can share it too. If you're looking for more information about today's topic, please visit my website, mahoganyacres.com, and all of the information that is listed in the show notes below. Until next time.